Welcome to H2K Infosys. H2K Infosys is a e-verify business based in Atlanta, Georgia, United States. We provide 100% job-oriented, instructor-led, face-to-face, true live online software training programs. It also includes access to cloud test lab with software tools. We provide live project for you to work on. We also provide assistance with mock interviews, resume preparation and review, and job placement assistance. H2K Infosys is trusted by so many students across the world. H2K Infosys provides world-class services in IT training with real-time project work for corporates and individuals, special IT training for MS students in the United States, software design, development, QA manual and automation, performance testing and maintenance, IT staff augmentation, job placement assistance, and tech support.
Yeah, it's recording now. Thanks for watching. Where are my images? Web services, Wsdl elements interaction. See, only thing that we are supposed to know is how the elements are communicated with respect to the Wsdl file. Once after we are aware of how the communication happens between the elements, like how the service and the port will be related to the binding, and then to port type and operation, how it will be going to contain the input and output operation, and in cases like fault operation, wherein we want to send some error messages. So operation can contain different types of messages, and at the same time messages can contain different data types. So whenever we are going to write the Java class, you should get a picture in your mind related to the Wsdl first. So once after you have designed your Wsdl, or if you are going for a top-down approach, once you have created your service, let us say this method, this addition method throws some exception. So let us say someone is sending the data in terms of string values. For that purpose, I have created one more service. See, this operation I just created with add, which accepts two strings instead of integers. So once after receiving the data, I'm just converting it to an integer, and after that I'm adding those two numbers, and finally I'm returning the data also as a string. So I'm just giving the flexibility to the user or to the client, not only accessing only integers. Here it can accept floating points, double values, and it can also accept booleans, characters, and normal string values. But as a client, when he is expecting only the addition of two numbers or two floating point numbers, he was not supposed to send the data in terms of a character, because when you are performing the addition operation, you can perform the addition operation only between numeric data types. Of course, you can perform the concatenation operation between two strings, but we are not bothered about that right now. So whenever you are converting integer.parseInt, and if you pass as a string, then it will be definitely going to fail with number format exception. So in that case, you can specify, you can write it as throws some kind of exception, or you can handle that exception and you can respond back to the client. But remember, the communication between client and server will be going to happen only based on SOAP protocol. So whenever you have sent a request, the normal request also, it will be going to wrap up by your SOAP. That's what we have seen yesterday. And during the request or response at any phase. So even for the response which contains an error information, let us say user has sent some some string representation, and our integer.parseInt method has thrown a number format exception. So at this point of time, your SOAP will be going to constructed with a fault message. The fault will also be part of the body. Previously, body contains your actual response information, but this time your body contains fault information, and the client was supposed to handle that particular error, and he needs to get, or he needs to retrieve the error message and the error code. So whenever an exception has occurred, where is our diagram? So see, whenever an error has occurred, instead of you sending the actual response inside the body, you'll just respond with a fault. The fault block will be going to contain a fault code or fault string or detail. The fault code is nothing but your error code, which you and your client has decided. So based on that error code, client can understand like this is a client error, or this is a server error, or there is an issue with respect to the header. So based on the fault code, the client can easily understand the issue and he can fix it, and he'll be going to trigger the request one more time. The fault string, it will be going to contain some extra information, like by looking at the normal message instead of error code. If he can take a look at the error message also, he'll be able to understand in more detail. So today we'll be going to see how to generate a fault message with respect to the server, and in the same way how to handle the fault response or the SOAP fault response with respect to the client. And once after that, we'll take a look at one real world example. We'll just take an example from some UDDI registries, Sigda, just like Sigda. So here we'll take a look at some temperature conversions, which will be going to convert from Celsius to Fahrenheit. Or else let us go for this one first, and we'll start with the fault later. See, what I have done is I just went to this website. Yesterday I have suggested, right? Webservices.sigda.com. It's like a UDDI registry, and currently we want to do a small example. So we have searched for temperature, or else I'll start from the scratch. So in the text box, in the search box, I searched for temperature. It has listed with all the available services with respect to our temperature. And I have selected this one, temperature conversion. So this is the Wsdl which was available. Remember, your Wsdl contains the endpoint information as well as how the request and response communication should happen, and also the transport protocol. So once after that, just take the Wsdl file. Take the Wsdl file and place it in some location. If my voice was not clear, just let me know. I will join using normal audio conference. So this is the Wsdl, just to store it at some location. .wsdl file. Save. Now create a small project wherein we just want to make use of the Wsdl and create a client by using Apache CXF. Dynamic web project. convert temperature client. So once after that, we just need to import the Wsdl file at some location. So currently I'll just drag and drop. Where is our temperature.wsdl file? What is the error? Instruction target matching XML is not allowed. Yeah, we can place it anywhere. We have the option, the CXF has the option of generating the client at any place. So yeah, now there is no error. Just right click on the WSDL file. See, this time what we are doing, we are not at all using our local server. I didn't do anything. It was fixed automatically. See, yesterday what we have tried, we have created a additions or arithmetic service. That means we have provided a service. We have written a service, and after that we have written one client as well. So we, in that sense, the service was deployed onto our local host only, and your client also accessing from the same location, and that's why we didn't go for UDDI, because you didn't register your service at the UDDI layer. We don't want any of other clients to come and take a look at our arithmetic operation service. But today we just want to we want to work as a client, and we want to use the existing services, because we don't want to write the convert temperature code again, and the service was already available at the UDDL layer, and you have verified the UDDL layer, and you just downloaded the WSDL file. So your WSDL file is enough to generate the client code and to identify the endpoint address. Your Apache CXF has the capability of generating the JAXP objects and the required JAX-WS classes based on WSDL file. So yesterday we have seen the top-down approach, or from Java to WSDL conversion. So there they have used a tool called Java to WSDL. Today we'll be going to discuss in depth one by one. The Java to WSDL tool is used to convert your Java application to actual web service. Of course, it will be going to generate a WSDL as well. And in the reverse way, the WSDL to Java. So this was also available with respect to your Apache CXF. So if you just provide the WSDL file, your Apache CXF will be going to generate the JAXP classes and the required JAX-WS classes. The JAX-WS class is nothing but your service or your port and the implementation class. And also it will be going to generate a client or server code if you need. So let us go and verify your Apache CXF folder first. Did anyone verify what are all the folders or files available in Apache CXF? Go to lib. Your lib contains all the required jar files, and you can see that JAXP API, JAXP IMPL, WSDL related stuff, XML beans, which is used for converting your WSDL file into JAXP code. You need the XML beans. Anyway, jar files are mandatory, and here you can see that lot of bat files, nothing but your Windows batch file. So here you can see that WSDL to Java. So your WSDL to Java, which will be going to convert your WSDL, the web service description language, into Java objects. And in the same way, Java to WS. So these two commands are used by your Apache CXF, and if you take a look at during the object generation, here it will be going to use that particular command and will be going to generate all the required class files. Currently, we are making use of the external WSDL file. Just right click on the WSDL file and go to Webservices, and we want only client. Generate client. You can see that test with Web Service Explorer, which means at the first time we have verified one Web Service Explorer window. So that is the same. And the next one is generate Java Bean skeleton. So just like your server code, and after that generate client. So currently we are interested only in generate client. So here you have the option of selecting the project, whether you want to select at the same location or you want to place at different location. So currently I want to place at our project is convert temp client. And in the same way, server runtime is same, and web services runtime it is Apache CXF 2.x. You can see that it has selected the WSDL file already. If it wasn't, you need to find out, because anyway we right click on the WSDL file, so it will be going to populate automatically. Click on next. Package name, it has suggested one package name, leave it as is. Click on next, and here it will be going to show you all these preferences. See, these options, how it has retrieved, these are available with respect to your preferences Apache CXF configuration. If you want some extra, you can just go to that. See, those options you just need to verify, Sandeep. Click on finish. Here you can see that it has used the command Java to WS and all the required command line options, like what is the class path that it was supposed to use, and what is the directory that it was supposed to generate the required class files, the WSDL file, creating service, loading front-end JAX-WS, loading data binding JAX-B. So front-end JAX-WS data binding means all your data types will be going to converted into the JAX-B classes, and finally it will be going to generate the WSDL to Java conversion. So go and verify your class file, your project now. So here you can see that it has created the package, and after that it has loaded all the class files. The issue with the issue while converting the WSDL to Java, what it has done is it hasn't created a separate package for your JAXP. If you want, you can just create a separate package and place all the JAXP related files. Meanwhile, just go and verify what are all the elements that are available with respect to your WSDL. Open your WSDL. See the left side tree structure. So your messages, it consists of Celsius to Fahrenheit SOAP request, response, Fahrenheit to Celsius, and in the same way, wind chill in Celsius SOAP request and wind chill in Fahrenheit SOAP request and response. So it consists of 4 operations, and each operation consists of a request and response input message. And it has one SOAP address, consists of a port name which was binded to temperature conversion SOAP binding. Go back to the top. So each operation, go back to the top. Each operation consists of an input message and output message. So these are the input messages and output messages. 1, 2, 3, 4 operations. So each operation consists of input and output. And finally, your data types. So your data types, it was referring like Celsius to Fahrenheit consists of the decimal value for Celsius, and the response also consists of a decimal value, and the value like whenever it has converted from Celsius to Fahrenheit, it will be going to respond with a decimal value. So each and everything, for each and every complex element, it will be going to generate a separate JAXP file. Now go and verify your JAXP files that got generated. Celsius to Fahrenheit consists of only one element, which consists of getter value, setter value. So in the same way for all the remaining JAXP classes. Now come back to our actual class files. So for client, even for client or for server, it will be going to generate a service, and after that it will be going to generate a dummy implementation for client. Even though if it was not required, your Apache CXF will be going to generate. Let us start with the one by one class, and we'll take a look at the annotations. See, your front end is nothing but your JAX-WS. So your JAX-WS, which will be going to contain all the annotations for your web service. These annotations are available from a package called javax.xml.ws package. So this package contains all the required annotations. So like at the rate web service, which specifies that the interface is exposed as a service, and this web service will be going to specify it at both the service endpoint level and in the same way the service implementation level. But when it was specified at the service implementation level, we are supposed to specify a parameter called endpoint interface, which will be going to refer to your actual SEI, service endpoint interface. Open your Wsdl. Let us go one by one. Java classes.code created. The first one is I'm sorry, temperature conversion SOAP type. Your temperature conversion SOAP type, let us go and verify in your Wsdl file. It's having so many spaces. Your port type, it will be going to contain from the port type, which will be going to contain about your operations. So your operations will be going to specified in your port type. So that will be going to specified as your service, your web service, which will be going to contain the name. Here it was specified as temperature conversion SOAP type, and it will be going to contain a target namespace. So the target namespace, it was retrieved from your Wsdl file. If you go and look at the top, it will be going to contain that one. See, all these classes are generated only based on your Wsdl file. And once after that, it will be going to contain all the methods or corresponding operations in your Wsdl file. And it will be going to specify all the annotations. Like the first one is @web method. Web method is nothing but your operation from the port type. Go down. Take one by one. Your operation, or let me copy this one. Your operation name will be your Java method name, and once after that, I didn't copy it properly, sorry. Your operation name will be your Java method name. You can see that your web method consists of a parameter called operation name, which will be going to point to the same name. And once after that, your web result is nothing but the response that you want to return back to the client. So currently, our response actual type is Celsius to foreign heat result. If you go and verify the message, it will be going to contain the same. And your target namespace, again, it will be going to point to the same because we don't have different XSTs and we are referring to only one Wsdl or one XST file. And the request wrapper is nothing but the actual elements for your request object. And in the same way, the response wrapper, which will be going to specify actual message for your response object. And here it consists of an additional attribute class name, which will be going to point to your actual request object in terms of JAXP. These request and response, these are optional. If you didn't specify, that's also, there won't be any issue with that. And finally, for each and every method, it will be going to contain certain parameters. So @web param will be going to specify will be used to specify the parameter for your operation. So the name of the param is n Celsius. In the same way, all the remaining methods currently in our Wsdl file, we have 4 operations. So there are 4 methods corresponding to each and every operation available in your prototype class. So this is the main interface that will be going to used by the client. Now, see, this part we just discussed only about the prototype part. We just discussed only about this particular prototype part. And now we need to discuss about the binding part. I'm sorry, the service part. Go to your next class, temperature conversions. Your temperature here, the temperature conversions will be going to extend one interface, which is javax.xml.ws.service, which specifies that this is a web service client. So here they have used an annotation called web service client, which will be going to inform to your JAX-WS that this is a web service client, and the name is nothing but your service name, and the WSDL location, your actual location of the service, and the target namespace, that is fine. And once after that, see, normally socket to socket communication between 2 different systems will be going to use the socket communication, but your JAX-WS or your container will be going to handle all the low level calls, but it's your responsibility to generate a URL object first, and will be going to provide that URL object to the container or web service, which will be going to create or establish the connection to the server. So once you have created, see here you can see that this is a static block, which means during only once this block will be loaded, and whenever you have whenever you are going to process the client request, this URL object will be going to created only once, because we won't be changing the URL object because this is related to the server. So we'll be going to, it's necessity for us for loading only one time into the memory. Once after you have created an URL object, there are 2 methods available. Get temperature conversion SOAP. Get temperature conversion SOAP with no parameters, and here you can see that web service feature ... features. So what kind of a parameter is this? Can anyone tell me what kind of a parameter is this? We have discussed in Java features class. Yeah, Priyanka. Sorry. This is Verox. If you guys remember, this we had discussed in our additional Java features class. Are you guys able to memorize now the Verox arguments? Yeah, thanks for the rest of people. I have seen the response from 3-4 people. Yeah. Yeah. See, don't forget any core Java features, because you'll definitely going to get at any point of time, if at all, if you move to any of the advanced concepts, you'll definitely going to get all the core Java concepts. Okay, here they are using one particular method, which is get temperature conversion SOAP. So by using this temperature conversion SOAP, On the top, what we have mentioned, this is a service. Go to your service now. Your service consists of a port. So what is the name of the port? Your name of the port is temperature conversion SOAP. So for this particular one, they have provided a getter method. So once you have created a service object, you can call the getter method to retrieve the port. So once you have retrieved the port, you have the access to all the methods by using the port. Just now only we have seen all the methods, how to access by using port type. So your starting place is temperature conversions, which is your web service client, which got created. And after that, you'll be going to call the method get temperature service conversion SOAP, which will be going to internally call super.getPort, which means it will be going to call your service getPort method. So there it will be going to establish the connection to your server at the specified IP address. This method will do that particular part. What are all the next classes? Get temperature conversion SOAP type IMPL. As mentioned, this is just an implementation for your SOAP type, which consists of a dummy implementation for all your methods. So no need to bother about this because we are not going to call these methods. Now go to your actual client code. This is your actual client code. You can see the temperature conversion SOAP type underscore temperature conversion SOAP underscore client. See, at any point of time, your queue name specifies the namespace or XML qualified namespace, and your Wsdl is, or your JAX-WS is very strict about the queue name. If you didn't specify the slashes or the elements properly, it won't call the web service. Here we are using the standalone client. You can see that I'm using the main method. Come down. Here you can see that I'm creating an object for temperature conversions. Temperature conversions is nothing but your service. I'm creating an object for your service, and where is my class? And once after that, I'm calling the get temperature conversion SOAP, which means it will be going to retrieve a port for me. See, just for our understanding, they have used the object name as port. Go to your Wsdl. So you are asking temperature conversions dot get temperature conversion SOAP, which will be going to retrieve a port object. So what you will think is you will be going to create one object and will be going to retrieve a port. But normally what it will do is it will be going to contact the server and will be going to establish the connection at that time, and will be going to handle, you can think like it will be going to handle an object for you from the remote location. Once you got the port object from the port, where is your port? So from your port, you have the access to all the methods like Celsius to Fahrenheit or wind chill in Celsius or the vice versa kind of stuff, any kind of methods. So just like how you will be able to access the methods from an object, in the same way here also you will be able to access those methods. Where is my client? So once
So many of our students have given testimonials on how our training programs are. You will find them on kudzu.com and on our website H2KInfosys.com. On our website H2KInfosys.com, you will also find more detailed information on who we are, the courses that we offer, what each course covers. Also, if you're interested in a demo program, please register on our homepage on the left-hand side Just give us more information about yourself and we will send you a link for a demo class. The demo class is absolutely free. Experience our commitment by just attending an orientation workshop at no cost. Our team of faculty and advisors are here to guide you with the right information. If you still have more questions, please feel free to call us. Call us at 770-777-1269. This is a United States number. If you're calling from the UK, call us at 020-337-17615. You can also email us at training@h2kinfosys.com or h2kinfosys@gmail.com. Thank you for watching our videos. We wish you a great career in information technology.